Hey YouTube, before I get started and forget about it, I need you guys to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that very much. Okay, well, I think today I want to talk about the controversy about Mark Wahlberg. Now today they say returning that $1.5 million that he renegotiated for the reshoot of the movie All the Money in the World. Now that is a movie that is on my list to see. I like movies like that. And I haven't seen it yet, but I do plan on seeing it. Yeah, there was a report that it came out somehow that for the reshoot of that movie, because they had fired actor Kevin Spacey over the sexual assault stuff going on, and they had to do a reshoot of the movie with another actor. So because they had to reshoot, well, then that's more work. So Mark Wahlberg renegotiated with the agency that handles his career and his pay for $1.5 million more to reshoot the movie. Then it found out that the other star actress, Michelle Williams, they said she was paid only like $80 a day. So that came out in the news, and so then that starts spurring all this talk about unequal pay for men and women because they were under the same agency. Why wasn't she given the same money? Well, from what I understand about agents and agencies such as that, Mark Wahlberg is his own entity and his own business represented by that agency, as is Ms. Williams. So Mark Wahlberg, I feel he signed his own contract. She signed her own contract. So he, I feel, had the right to renegotiate since they had to reshoot that movie. They reported that she accepted the $80 a day. As a matter of fact, I heard a report where she herself said she accepted the $80 a day and she would have accepted less to shoot the movie. So it didn't seem like she had the problem with it. It just seemed that all these people out here who just want to jump on a bandwagon and complain and make a controversy had a problem with it. But it became such a big problem that I guess Mr. Wahlberg felt pressured. And so it's reported today that he donated the $1.5 million to an organization called Time's Up Legal Fund to assist women with, I guess, certain legal issues, what have you. And he donated those funds in Ms. Williams' name. Well, I, for one, wouldn't have felt that I didn't feel it was right that he had to return the money. Ms. Williams had her choice to negotiate her contract as she saw fit. She said on the news that I just heard today that she accepted the $80 a day, which that had nothing to do with what Mark Wahlberg accepted. He decided to negotiate. And sometimes, I think that goes down to what you think your work is worth. And then another point that was made about Ms. Williams was that her contract had reshoots already negotiated in them. So I guess the extra $80 that came with her contract. And supposedly reshoots were not in Mark Wahlberg's contract. So that left an open door for him to renegotiate, which anybody who has any type of business savvy, who has any thought about their money and any care about their work, they would do. I certainly would have done it. So I don't fault him for doing that. And I think that was a great move on his part. It's just sad that this society has become so politically correct. We want to just jump on a bandwagon. And in these days, with all the sexual assault cases going on, it's like men just don't stand a chance. We can't stop until we get rid of all the men out of everything. We need them just like they need us. And it seemed like it's beginning to be, I'm not defending anybody who is doing anything wrong towards anyone, but, we don't want this just to become an all-out assault on our men, because it'll be a matter of time before things can flip and turn, and women will feel like it'll flip and turn. It just seems like the tables will be turned in the opposite direction, and we don't want that. We have to work together. If any individual needs to see about their best interests, that's what you should do. And I agree, he should have renegotiated his contract. If that's what she felt for her contract, well, that's what she felt. And according to the news report that I saw, her speaking from her own mouth, it didn't seem like she had a problem with what she accepted for her pay to do that movie. If she had a problem with it, well, that was something she was to get her representation and remedy. But it didn't happen. But it's, crazy how the court of public opinion is just starting to rule social media. And I know celebrities, they have different followings and fan bases. They don't want that hurt, you know, getting bad publicity, making themselves look bad. And I'm sure he didn't want to, look bad, look, as if he's participating in the in the cycle of women getting paid less than men. But at the same time, this is an apples to oranges type of thing. He was represented by an agency. He had his representation. She had hers. So each individual, it wasn't across the board thing. He had his representation he hired. She had hers that she hired. It wasn't as if they were together. It was an equal contract. They both sat there and signed it together and agreed on their terms together. They agreed on their terms individually. And so to me, what I'm learning, and it goes back down to what we feel that we're worth. And especially as women, I read a report about how certain jobs, a woman and man can have the same type of job, and the job may not seem very significant, but the man can play that job up, and by the time you get through hearing about it, you'll think he's a senior executive, and the woman will still feel like she's several rungs down the chain lower than he is, and they're doing the exact same job. It's about how you look at your worth, look at what you're doing, and how important, how much value you're bringing to what that job is, and even see it in the workplace where I am. I just have now a supervisor who is doing the same work as I am. But, it's how seriously that he took his work, and how, serious that he made it. Whereas, someone else may think, oh, you're just, well, he didn't look at it as he was just the position that he was. He took it as a serious part of being a serious team member and part of that company and a serious asset. And that's why we have to look at, ourselves. If she felt she was worth more, that was her place to, go back to her agency and get her representation and see what she could do to renegotiate her contract. But she said that's what she wanted anyway. And so, people, get into people's business so quickly. I wonder how many of the people that criticized and made such a big to do, out of this situation, how many of them have negotiated and taken care to find out, that they're getting the proper pay for what they're doing. I mean, I wonder how many of those individuals are getting compensated justly and adequately for what they do. And they're sitting here worrying about what Michelle Williams made versus what Mark Wahlberg made. Why don't they raise such hell at their own companies? Why don't they raise those issues in their own vicinity? No, people want to get on social media where they can hide behind the computer and spout off and spew off these things. And it would seem insignificant that just, a bunch of people saying stuff. But these things, the way social media operates, it can make or break or greatly influence, person's situations. It can influence how people feel about various celebrities and public figures. Whereas someone is liked and loved and, they do great things, the wrong trend can turn them out and turn them out to be, horrible, and demonize them and make them look so bad, it can cost them dearly. So we need to be mindful, how we get on this social media and our various platforms and get out there to criticize. Make sure we know the facts before. And a lot of people, love to gossip and say things and put out content about people without even checking it out. They put it out there just because Someone said something, so just take it and run, not even checking out what took place, checking out any background. And, that can be very dangerous and harmful, So, anyhow, that's what I feel about this situation. And, we need to be mindful because who knows? It could be you the next time. It could be me that gets affected, So I want to try to do right by others, and others should want to do the same. But, there are people out there, it's all about attention and just, getting, getting their way on this social media. So anyway, that's enough about that subject. And again, like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Bye-bye.